This program has finally lifted the hood that is Rex Ryan's mind and fixed whatever's going on in there.
You know, I have to absorb a lot of that stuff. Poor Rex Ryan, man.
Thanks
I'm going
to
to tell
Dr.
you
Drew.
what. I'll tell you what. I would not want to be him. And the brother, it could go on.
Yeah, the
Sanchez.
twins.
Where do we stop?
Dr. Drew Pinsky, good to see you, sir.
Pleasure.
I've enjoyed this man's work for many years. Celebrity Rehab Teen Mom Life Love Line that I appeared on with you and Corolla.
That's right.
11 years ago.
He and I, believe it or not, I can't believe it's 11 years, but he and I, believe it or not, are back doing podcasts together.
It's incredible.
Yeah, we're still.
Well, he is Mr. Podcast.
Podcast,
He's got the #1 podcast on planet Earth.
Yeah, he
correct?
does. And he invited me in, so we've been doing one together, and it's been fun.
Yeah, you're Dr. Drew on Call. Airs also Monday through Thursdays, 9 Eastern Time on HLN, and that Dr. Drew podcast is on Podcast One. So what do you think is going on with
Rex Ryan?
Yeah, with Rex Ryan.
You know,
when the depression of losing.
No, he'll be fine. Listen, that's a guy. Those kinds of guys, you've got to be somebody that can just power through. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, he and his brother. I mean, these guys are dynastic, right?
Yeah, sure, of course.
And anyone that is able to. Can you imagine being the coach of a team?
Well,
Any team.
It's incredible. The coaches that I have been able to be around because of what I do for a living have either been fired because that's why they're on the set, or they have retired. And the guys who have retired, you know, either they're 60 or older, guys who have retired say that they gave up because the euphoria of winning, that high, did not overcome the trough of losing. They couldn't get out of that trough.
That, and they give up everything. I remember, I'm sort of like an NFL historian because I was really, deeply interested in the NFL when you were like 6 years old. I heard you say you graduated college in 89, 90.
Yeah.
So the 70s and the early 80s was sort of where I examined every game like the Zapruder tapes.
Right.
And I remember when Dick Vermeil retired.
Yep.
He talked about what he was talking about was workaholism, and
workaholism.
He wasn't framed that way back then. But you have to be that's what you have to be in order to survive in that world. And so naturally, it's going to be difficult to attend to things like your health and your weight and your mood, and it's going to be a roller coaster no matter what.
And he even came back and won a Super Bowl.
Well,
because you can't. Some of these coaches they
can't stay away.
No.
You're addicted to it, just like at work. I'm a workaholic. I can appreciate that. I understand how alluring it is, and especially when you have something that is so personally gratifying. Imagine winning a Super Bowl or something.
Right.
Like, this is
Well, in terms of your fandom, obviously you're also a UCLA guy, right?
Well,
my
thing is,
UCLA.
I'm a Lord Jeff dude. I went to Amherst College.
Okay.
But then I went to SC Medical School, and strangely, you get attached to your undergraduate college.
Of course.
So even though I have a little New England college, I'm still attached to that. My wife is a Bruin. We live by the Rose Bowl. And by the way, you were talking about getting a stadium here in LA.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to make a prediction. It's going to be downtown. If it's not going to be downtown, they need to do it in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl. Sorry, neighbors. Everyone hates that.
Yeah,
but it's one of the greatest stadiums in the world to watch a football game.
Yeah, I know.
It absolutely categorically is.
It is.
Yeah.
I covered Rose Bowls when Michigan played there. You see
there's
the San
not a
Gabriel
bad seat.
Mountains.
Maybe the end zones aren't so great, but everything else you're on top of the game. And anyway, so we live by the Rose Bowl, so we go to a lot of UCLA games because my wife's a Bruin.
Right. So you take a look at the college game and you take a look at the professional game. Momentum. It seems sometimes it's such a mental thing where it just changes like that. Where obviously Dallas and sort of overcame it yesterday with a blocked punt for a touchdown. They're down 10, and suddenly momentum just changed and switched.
I watched that game, and anyone that was watching will know exactly what I'm talking about. There's some sort of shared experience where we, even as viewers, we literally have an experience where we feel the shift. We start getting excited, our pulse goes up, and that's what's happening to the players, much, much more intensively.
Right.
And there's something about that cohesion and that shared experience of things going positive. Who knows what, it's an intangible. I'm sure sports psychologists think about this all day, but no one really knows what that is, except to say that, the shared experience is where the magic of what humans are.
Isn't that amazing?
And so there's an example of it.
Did you ever you worked with the NFL at one point?
I did. I'm an addictionologist. I'm an internist addictionologist. And so when people have drug addiction, that's my thing. And NFL players get that like anywhere. And, years ago, I've worked for all the major league teams at one time or another, a long time ago. And the NFL was kind of peculiar back then. They weren't interested in me making somebody well so much as safe for the streets. Sort of get them back on the field quick, but not well, just safe on the streets.
A long time ago.
It was
before culture was changed.
It was 20 years ago. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And so with the NFL today, and concussions and how the league is approaching it. Yeah. How do you feel that the league is approaching this
I think
issue
they're
now?
doing a great job. I mean, they're researching it, taking it very seriously. My own son, I think football is an important sport. I really do. I'm going to be vilified probably for this. I played football in high school. It was a really important thing for me.
Well, discipline and teamwork.
You know what it is?
There's
all of that. And being able to respond to authority that's aggressive, but once it's helping you, they may be grabbing you by the face. I told this to Warren Sapp when he was on Dancing with the Stars, strange. I did a weird session like this with him. And I said, Warren, you must have had coaches that grab your face mask and pull your face into theirs and said, son, I'm trying to help you. Mm-hmm. Angry, but try to help. And you get the feeling of somebody really being there for you. But the most important thing, I think, I had my sons playing tackle football when they were 9 on the junior All-American team. And I watched these kids, 9-year-old, 10-year-old boys, change in how they held themselves and how they talked to us as adults. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that I thought was the most transformative was, and maybe people aren't going to like me saying this, or maybe we're all NFL fans here, so it'll be okay.
Go for it, Dr. Drew.
Was that the young males putting themselves in harm's way on behalf of their peers. You don't think about that. You're really going to lay yourself out for your peers, for your team. That's a transformative experience for young males.
Well, in terms of, youth football, if you get the right coach for not only the mental stuff that we're talking about right here, but the ones that, that heads up football that the NFL has always been talking about, just bending at the hips, keeping your head up.
Just the basics.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it's safer. I had 2 sons. Yeah, I have triplets. I have 2 sons, and they're both great football players. One was sort of a maniac on the field. He broke his femur, he broke his arm, and then he had 3 concussions. And the third concussion, that was it. He's out for good. And he understood it. The kids are absorbing the culture of head injury. Sure. And he was like, I don't want to have dementia. I'm out. I love football, but I'm not going to risk my life. And so we had him see a neurologist. The neurologist said, we got to take you out. My son said, yeah, fantastic. And the neurologist was like, oh, good. I thought you were going to have a fit about it. No, the kids are getting that they have to protect their
right.
brain.
And if you get the right coach, then you're in good shape.
Yeah.
What does it mean for a host of a football show to have a bust in his own name? I mean, face and likeness, Dr. Drew.
It means one of 2 things.
What does that mean?
Either you are extremely codependent of your producers, and they're the ones that demanded this, or you're a raging narcissist. So one or the other. I'm just saying, just one or the other. You have a wacky pack of producers here, don't you?
You tell me.
I'm saying there's been some crises on campus.
Yeah,
here.
I mean, before we get to Ted, though, I mean, how would a raging narcissist respond to being called a raging narcissist?
You might swing at me.
But I mean,
I'm mitigating the probability that that's in fact the diagnosis. I say it's the producers.
Okay, and that's why I might be a little off on today's program, Dr. Drew, because earlier Ted Mulcairn, my showrunner, just stormed off the set.
People are talking about it. I hear about it. Wherever I was, there it is.
There he goes, and then he went to take the tram out of it. He's just storming.
He's having a little pissy fit here. A little is he crying? Is that what I see? He's actually crying. I think he's crying.
He's storming up steps. He's not paying for public transportation.
Look at him. Oh my goodness.
He looks out of breath.
If he were to stamp his feet and jump up and down, I'd say, oh, there you go.
What do I do? Do you have any suggestions?
He needs his mommy, I think. I really do. I think that's, this is somebody...
you don't want to blame the mother, right?
No, not blaming mother. Couldn't possibly blame mom for that.
It's always blaming on the mom.
I think, actually, he seems to have reconstituted. I actually met him backstage. He seemed like back in his body. That could be drugs and alcohol. Could be drug and alcohol withdrawal. Could be... Could be something we don't know about, some conflict at home, we don't know.
Well, I'm thrilled to have you on, and it's amazing because, again, it really was 11 years ago when I came on to promote NFL Network on Loveline, and probably some of the conversations that I was subject to sitting there. I don't know if many people in the NFL front office was thrilled of my choice to come on and promote on your program.
It's turned out okay.
It has.
And congratulations to you. It's such a privilege to be here on your home turf.
I appreciate that.
This is great. This is really great.
And Carolla's like one of a kind.
He'll come here.
I went on his podcast to promote this show as well, and he has an idea though to replace the replay system.
Yeah. Oh God.
In the National
He's always
Football
got
League.
ideas.
Well, he's the one who said they should make the uprights bigger,
higher.
Yes,
Yes,
he was on my podcast. He posited that, and look what's happened.
Yep.
They are in fact taller, so they listened to him. Although this one might be a little tough to get past the figurative goalie, if you will, to mix my sports metaphor. He wants to replace the replay system currently in the NFL, where a ref goes and looks under the hood to review a play that has been requested for replay, with what he calls the replay GIMP, like straight out of Pulp Fiction. Somebody in a full leather latex outfit coming from underneath the stadium, run out like the Buffaloes at Colorado, much to the cheering of the crowd, because he thinks that whoever looks at the replay should have no context of the play or the game.
So somebody who couldn't possibly play football or be invested in any way.
Just at all, like straight out of the trunk.
Yeah.
Have them go and adjudicate the matter on behalf of the National Football League. I don't think that's going to go. And I rarely disagree with him, but here's one where I would say I kind of dig. I like the system the way it is. I think that's if it ain't broke.
It ain't broke, and we all seem to like it, by the way. Now everyone looks back and goes, why haven't we been doing this all along? We've got the technology, let's do it. Why isn't every sport doing it?
That's right. As they always say, if it ain't broke, don't bring in the GIMP. That's what they always say.
Or the leather or the neoprene, whatever.
Dr. Drew on Call airs Mondays through Thursdays, 9 Eastern on HLN. Dr. Drew Podcast on Podcast One, which is where you can also hear this podcast. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Rich.
You are the man. Thanks for helping with Rex Ryan, too.
He needs help,
all of New Yorkers. That's Dr. Drew.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern, on Audience.